Well, hello and welcome to Ballam Road Farm. This is episode 5 and we're going into the new year. So that means we need to do our selections, our economy selections. Let's see what number we get. Get number 3. Oh dear. Economic situation has to change to hard. Weather just is as normal. So no problem on that side. So that's not a really good start. See what other events will happen during this year. Generate the number 9. And what does that give us? Oh, some good news. Cereal company contract. Plant wheat in fields during the next planting window and place a municipality subsidy in the modification area until the harvest for each field that is planted. So that's good news. Well, let's set that to hard and off we go. So we're going to be playing on hard for the next year. So we're going to have to make some sacrifices and some plans to mitigate that. So the first thing that we find is that because we didn't clear our produced stock at the end of the last episode or the last month as such, we're going to lose some money on some of the stock. Anyway, nothing we can do about that now. That's the gamble that you take if you leave things overnight. As I've mentioned before, we can only really have it there for 2 days in any event, but change of season, not a good time to leave stock out. So only one person's fault, that's mine. In any case, so we'll deliver some butter to the farm shop, we'll deliver a pallet of cheese to the farm shop, and then during the course of the day we'll decide what to do with the rest. So we have to put them in, so must probably take some down to the 2 markets, and we'll decide what we take where and how much we take where during the course of the day. Right, so I think let's get out and go and collect some milk. So I have just checked to see if the young ones are producing any milk, and that seems to be on track now, so they aren't producing any milk. So we only have to clear from the old barn and from the new barn. Both of them have slightly over 8,000 litres in them, so we've got 2 loads of milk to produce. Collect from the old barn first and we'll put that into our dairy, into our creamery. That is building up a nice little stockpile. I think in the next month we may not need to deliver any milk there. We don't want to keep too much in there either, otherwise technically speaking it could go off. So just drop this lot off, and I think, well, I'll check it in tomorrow or the next day or the next month, day stroke month, as we're playing. 1 day represents 1 month. Right, let's just offload this here. 8,000 going into there. I think there was around about 10,000 or 12,000 already in there, so we seem to be using about 6,000 or 7,000 a day. So if we just continue to put 8,000, we're just going to continue to grow that all the time. So we'll keep it at a steady level so that it doesn't run out. And of course, once we find a source of sugar, we can start making chocolate as well, which will increase that. Right, so let's pick up from the old barn. So we've got 8,000 litres in there. I think just before we go, let's have a quick check on our animals and see how they're doing okay. So the beef guys look alright, so they've still got plenty of food for today. The Holsteins need another top up of mixed rations. So will the side shed. No, they're okay. They've got plenty of hay, and there's only a small amount, and they've hardly used any. The old shed, they've got enough during the day, so we'll top that up again before the end of the day stroke month. That'll be fine. Yeah, so they're all looking good. All looking good. So this load we'll take down to the ice cream maker, and then for now I'll leave the smaller amounts in the, there's probably about 1,000 liters left in each of the barns, and I'll leave that there for now just in case. Just give us a little bit more flexibility when we delivering to the farmers markets if other things come up in the interim. Right, so that's that delivered. And I think our next job should be getting the hay from the top field back down to the beef cattle and go and straw out their barns so that they are a little bit more comfortable, and they will of course also then start producing manure. That's another job that we have to do during the course of today, is collect the manure from the old barn and the new barn, and put that into the muck pile. Not going to be too much of a problem. We'll do that right at the end of the day. Right, so there was a bit of hay still left from yesterday. We'll just pop that into the big barn, top them up with hay. So it's looking like tomorrow or February we will have to buy in some hay for the certainly for the dairy cattle. We'll have to buy some hay in also, because I think we'll be alright with hay for the TMR for today's feeding, but it's probably not for tomorrow. So we'll have to make a purchase of hay. It's of course also going to be a little bit more expensive than it normally would have been, considering the economic situations that we are now in. So we'll have to start thinking of some other plans. I have a couple of ideas to mitigate the situation, but they're still in early discussions at the moment. But I'll let you know that as soon as I have any concrete proposals or concrete I suppose proposals would be the right word, or concrete developments even. But yeah, so some potentially exciting things that will help with the with mitigating the losses that we're going to make due to the change in economic conditions. Of course, economic conditions are continuously changing, and it's something that we have to just adapt to until they change again, either for the better, or in our case they can't go any worse, they can only remain the same but or get better. So we'll just see how it goes. Right, so I've just about got a full load. We'll take that on down to the beef cattle and put this first load most probably into the big barn. Yeah, so of course we were pretty lucky with the cereal contract we picked up. So that top field we will now plant with wheat, and then for the duration of the period that the wheat is in the field, we will get a kickback from the cereal company, or a stipend, or whatever you want to call it. Basically they're going to pay us to plant wheat, so I suppose it's really a kickback or an incentive. Let's use that word, that's better. It's an incentive to plant wheat. And of course it means we get some more hay from there. Once we harvest the wheat, we will get hay, so we may get through another year without having to buy any hay or to worry about hay. I do at some time want to plant maize in that top field and make silage from maize as well, so we'll plan that out for the future. Right, look at the cows, all very, very happy that they've got a bit of straw to wallow in now. Fantastic, happy about that. Feel better about my animal welfare now. And we'll head on back up and go and pick up another load. And then we'll pop that into the small barns, so the limousines, or the limousines. I did mean to go and look up the pronunciation of that, but I didn't. Right, let's just close these gates before we leave. There we go. So far it's been pretty lucky this winter. We haven't had any snow, so we're only in January, so that may well be famous last words. Hopefully not. Right, so we've got another load. Put this into the small barn. Yeah, I did. If you're wondering why there's no vehicle sounds, I had a bit of a technical problem with my soundtrack. I'd like to be able to blame my equipment, but I don't think I can. I think it is 99.99% something that I did wrong, but somehow I seem to have deleted the soundtrack. In any case, I'll get some background music just to fill in the silence gaps while we're moving through this episode. So I do apologize for that. Entirely my fault. Right. So yeah, they've both got. This one's full now, so it doesn't take a full 23,000 litres, so we've got a little bit left. We'll put that into the Angus enclosure, into the big enclosure. We have to reverse out of this barn because there's not much room to turn around at the bottom end. Not a major issue. So you can see some manure already been deposited there. We will keep that as a manure stroke muck heap for this bottom farm. The top farm we'll put into one muck heap from the two barns, and the side shed has its own little area for muck, which I haven't decided whether I'll just collect it there because it's quite a big area. And move it into the muck heap or not. We'll see. You'll see what time allows. Right, so we've still got a little bit left, and instead of putting it into the beef cattle barn, I thought I'd just come and top up the big, or the new barn. Just add a little bit more straw in there. Then I think there's probably still another load up in the field above, which we'll have to find a place to store. I think I've got some space in some of the barns down near the beef cattle. I think any surplus I'll just put into one of those. I don't think it's worth selling it. We'll be able to use it certainly to straw up down there. Hopefully the straw that we have in the barns here will last us until we can get some more straw from the wheat field we're going to plant. They have to start working that piece of land and seeing what needs to be done. I know there's plenty of weeds growing in it, so they have to start preparing it for the wheat planting. Let's probably start that during the course of next month. Alright, so this is the last lot. Don't think we'll get a full load, but it'll be very close to full, into the 90%. So that's worked out rather well. Yeah, as you can see, the weeds are rampant in this field. It was a little bit of withered crop that wasn't harvested by the last owners. You can plough that in, no problem. So I think I will plough this field because it's the first time that we're doing it. I know it's probably going to give us a little bit of a hit on the what do we call it again now? The precision farming eco scale. But that is most probably never going to be 100% for us. We will, over the course of the next year, still analyze the other fields that we have as well, just so that we know. And we'll have to start during the course of this year paying more attention to the actual fields to increase the grass yields, to work on the grass yields as well. This will we will hopefully, once we've got through this initial planning phase and adaptation phase of the new game, we'll have some time to do those extra little jobs. Right, let's get this in. I think I was trying to get it into the sort of center of this barn so it doesn't spill over too much anyway. There we go. Pretty much center, a little bit further back, and we'll offload here. We'll offload some of it here, and then we'll just move it around so that we can spread it out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, it's not looking too bad. Still a bit in there. Push them down this side as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much done. Right, so that's that job done. We've got everything bedded down nicely, and now it's time to make our deliveries. So I'm going to put one pellet of butter and one pellet of cheese into the duck pond market. There we go. That's going to at least bring some income there, and that's sorted out for another day. Market stall is replenished. It's not like we're not going to get any. We're not going to. It's not like we're going to lose all our income, is it? We're still going to get income. It's just not at the same levels as we were getting on normal mode. Right, so I'm going to put another cheese and butter into the bottom, into the golf course market. And I also got a phone call from the golf course cafe. They wanted a pallet of butter, so that's a new customer, and we can do the delivery at the same time. Might have to, that's going to be a regular occurrence, might have to get a bigger delivery van. Not very well packed with the wheel arches in there, but not a major problem with the sturdy strapping, and it's not that far to go and make these deliveries. So let's get that off and delivered. I think the delivery area is in the sort of open square area. Looks like where the kitchen is. Yep, that's it. Yeah, so that's a bit of income from that. How much does that give us? Just under $1,000. It'll be the new normal for this year. We're only really going to notice it, particularly this month. From next month it'll just be the normal amounts that we get. So we've got should have strapped that in. Got some cheese and butter going into this stall, and once that's done, that's also sorted for the day. That's grand. So while I was driving back, I got a phone call from the supermarket, and they want 3,000 liters of butter, which, as it is exactly what I've got. Once again, very shoddy loading, relying completely on the straps again. But let's get these butter pallets down to the supermarket. Whoa, watch out for the oncoming traffic, boy. Yes, I'm pretty glad that we've got a supermarket interested. I thought their noses might be a little bit out of joint with me supplying the farmers markets, but I suppose from their point, if they need butter, they need butter. Could be, of course, that they're just taking advantage of the economic conditions and buying in stock when they know that we are desperate to sell, so we obviously don't get the best price available. But for me, it's a customer I didn't have. And also makes me feel a little bit better that we didn't sell all our product last month. We wouldn't have been able to make this little connection. Oh, I think I've overshot the... Yeah, I have overshot the entrance to the supermarket. Yeah, there we go. Now we just need to find out where the delivery entrance is. I think it's down here. Yeah, and just need to look for the roller doors, or the behind here. Yep, there they are. Looks like the fire engine doors. Ah, it's a 2800, so it's not to be scoffed at. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of a top up now on the TMR feeds for the two barns, the old barn and the new barn. So we'll put one load into each. We'll just show a couple of a little bit of the action. We won't show all the action of the loading. Yes, I'm quite happy with doing 50-50 hay and silage for the time being. Let's pop that in here. Yeah, so we're just going to do a quick top up on each of the sheds today. Hopefully, I think it should, well, I'm pretty confident it will it'll be enough until tomorrow, and then tomorrow we'll have to do a bigger, or next month we'll have to do a bigger feed. So we'll use up the rest of the hay that is there, and then we'll have to buy in a couple of, there's probably another two forage wagon loads full of hay from the store, and then we'll have to also buy some for the dairy cattle, and hopefully that'll get us through February and March, and then in April again we can start cutting the lawns, or cutting grass. I'm working a little bit to my own schedule there. As I said, I don't want to, although the calendar says I can cut grass throughout the whole year, or harvest grass throughout the whole year, I don't particularly want to do it in the winter months, just to increase the realism slightly. I know we're not fully realistic in the whole situation, but it just feels better that we wouldn't have access to those fields at this time of the year. Right, so now time to do the muck. So the muck is going to work out this way. We've got two loading buckets. So the loading bucket for the feed mix I've left with the silage in the silage, or was it in the hay compartment? Yep, there it is done. Just caught a fleeting glimpse. So I've put the other bucket on here, and this will be purely for collecting manure, and will be left in the silage pit after we've done manure collection. And after we've done manure collection, we will also have to power wash the telehandler, just to get rid of all the muck so that it doesn't get into the feed. Once we're rich enough, we will actually get a separate machine for muck. I think this is going to be The easiest way of doing it is just to use the telehandler for both and just make sure that it's cleaned after every time. So if ever you notice that I have not done a clean after the muck, you're most welcome to let me know in no uncertain terms. Right, so that's the big barn cleared. We've got all the manure from there into the muck pile. We're going to do the old barn after this. And then when we've got a substantial amount of manure, I think what we'll do is, because we don't have, well, we'll see what the money's like, because we don't have a manure spreader at this point in time. I might just transport it down to the biogas plant and get some digestate produced from it that we can spread with our slurry spreader. So by the time it comes to preparing fuels, hopefully we will be able to put slurry down on most of them. Also onto the grass fields just before cutting, so we'll have to do that in March. I think we will slurry spread the grass fields. Right, so that's the first load into the muck spreader from the old barn. We just cut to the end. This is the last one. So that's that cleared. And because the side shed is producing, it's only got 20 cattle in it, they're producing a small amount. The manure. Why can't I say manure? That's really crazy. The manure collection point in the side shed is quite big. I'll just leave that there for now. That's nowhere near where the cattle can get into it. Right, so that's the manure collected. Looks like quite a lot before we started, but it's pretty small in the size of this muck heap. Right, so I'm going to offload the muck bucket here, and that'll stay in this area, and then we'll just reverse down to around about here, and I've got the power washer down here. Just keep this over so that whatever we washes off goes straight into the silage drains. Not silage drains, into the my brain has gone. Into the slurry drains. Let's get that all clean. Pay particular attention to the wheels. Get closer down on the wheels there. Yeah, there we go. So that's all nice and clean now. And we'll park it up, and I think that's where we'll end off this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and cheerio.